I think futurism is almost sans culture. You know, we try to erase our culture when we look to the future, but Afrofuturism celebrates culture and celebrates dreaming at the same time.
Are you seeing Afrofuturism being played out right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the more African faces, the more African hands get involved, the more of that you're going to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really interesting.
I think social media has a huge part to do in it. Just, you know, Black Twitter and all those kind of things, and just there being a lot of really loud voices in those communities is kind of pushing it to the forefront. And now you're seeing some kind of social media stars come out of these universes. There's a lot of people who have like hashtag Black this or that, or hashtag this, that, and the other, which are bringing behind them huge groups of followers. And, you know, now we're at the point where there's a forum for it. You know, New York Comic Con's coming up. We're going to have this panel, and we can crush it. And that's great. But before there was always the Black panel. There was always the one panel at the New York shows, and now there's like 3 or 4 of them, right?
Even 6.
There's 6? Wow.
Well, it's actually more than 6. I think it's for all the days together, it's maybe 10.
That's crazy. That's great. So I think just the boost in social media awareness and people just kind of being sick and tired of being sick and tired has kind of pushed all of this forward. I don't want to say it's just the companies, because I think it's coming from the ground. It's coming from the, you know, like a grassroots thing.
But there was some sort of inter-office conflict that led to the cancellation of that book, and the editor wasn't happy about it. So the editor was like, "Well, he sort of came up with that idea and said, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're going to kill off Iron Fist and have Luke get blamed for it, and that's how we're ending the series." And that was kind of his way of getting back at people who made these decisions to cancel. The book was selling 125,000 copies when it got canceled.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but it got canceled to make room for something called the New Universe, and the editor was not happy about it. So I was kind of ordered to do it, and I said, well, I really didn't want to do it. And said, well, if you don't do it, I'll bring in another writer and let him do it. And I was like, well, if Iron Fist has to go, it's my character. At the moment, it was my character. I felt, you know, kind of paternal about it. I said, all right, well, you know, I'll go ahead and do it. But if I hadn't done it, he would have brought somebody else in to write that issue.
What I read from David Walker, I haven't read any Marvel stuff, but his outside stuff I like. My friend Sean Pryor, he does a lot of different books, especially all ages books, like Cash and Carry and a whole bunch of other books over the years. He writes good material. Ulysses Farinas, he considers himself Afro-Cuban, so I think that fits Black. He does a lot of great work. There's so many, and there's a lot of people that I've met. Afua Richardson does great things. Chuck Collins with.
You're the second person who mentioned that.
Yo, he's a beast. I've been seeing him out. I've been seeing him in these con streets for a long time. I'm glad that his webcomic has blown up. He's starting to push out there. Yeah, those are the ones that really pop in my head really quickly that I like, besides like thinking about my own ideas over and over and over again.
What made you move this medium to a comic book as opposed to putting it on Tumblr, making a series of tweets, Facebook pages? Why a comic book?
Well, there's a long history of taking real world events and graphicizing them. I mean, Persepolis, Mouse, like this isn't a new idea. It's just when my brain thinks about what do you do when you don't have the images?
They don't understand what the medium is capable of. But part of what the medium is capable of is drawing people in, especially people who are easily distracted or who have trouble reading. But there's that visual component, and that helps. That juxtaposition, I just think, helps.
White people, it's good to ask questions. Ask questions, do some research, and find out why it would feel inappropriate in the past. You know, Halloween's coming up, and I feel like we always have to have a conversation about not doing blackface.
Please don't do blackface.
Please don't do blackface.
Please
don't do blackface.
Please. Not brown face,
nope.
Not yellow face.
Nope.
Do green, purple, but not, no.
Have you had any negative feedback about your shirts? Like, have you had people been offended by it or felt slighted by it or asked you questions about it?
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing to me is when I thought of it, I kind of wanted it to be a social experiment as well. I talk all the time with people who own the shirt and who wear the shirt. There's a moment when someone first sees what the shirt says that you can read the intention on their face, whether they're confused by it or, I mean, most of the time it's joy, like they connect with it automatically, and the first thing they do is just resonate with it. So I'd say about 98% has been positive. There's been some confusion.
So since Black Panther is like, he had so much high energy when he was fighting and everything like that, we created like a song where it kind of matches his energy. You know what I mean? It's like hip hop mixed with, hardcore hip hop mixed with EDM a little something.
Okay.
You know? So the song is called Beast With It, you know what I mean? Because Black Panther's a beast. So, yeah.
Now, I actually talked to a few notable Black artists and illustrators and creatives. And you know, Brian Stelfreeze said that he loves seeing Black women at Comic-Con, and he loves seeing that, you know, women are being, you know, coming out of their shadows and, you know, being able to illustrate, draw, produce, you know, be publishers.
I started writing my raps. I needed a place to draw from. And Marvel comic books taught me something that was important in life. You define yourself with the adjective, a word that describes you, and then you tell the world who you are. For instance, the amazing Spider-Man, the incredible Hulk, the invincible Iron Man. So when I got into hip hop, I was like, I'm going to just pretend to be the most powerful entity in the hip hop universe. I will become the devastating, mind-controlling DMC. That's where I got the DMC from.